let me get Suzy Lopez on the phone, the Hillsborough County State Attorney, as they're going after this monster that tied this dog to a fence. I mean, really just horrifically egregious. A little presser yesterday. Hang on, let me dial up Suzy. Tell you what, the dog is safer with Suzy. Tell you that. All right, let's see here. 813. All right, calling her cell phone.
Good morning, MJ.
Good morning, State Attorney Suzy Lopez. Welcome back to the MJ Morning Show.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So I think a lot of people's stomachs were turned when we heard the story, and luckily a Florida Highway Patrol trooper found this dog tied to a pole during Hurricane Milton, and it turns out now the individual has been caught. And Giovanni Aldama Garcia, 23 years old of Ruskin, has now been charged with aggravated animal cruelty, third-degree felony. Suzy, what can you tell us about this?
You know, MJ, this is one of the most appalling things that I've seen during the hurricane. I've seen so many acts of heroism. I stayed at HCSO for 3 nights and saw these guys going out and protecting our community. And then to see that someone did this to their own pet. We're supposed to be taking care of our most vulnerable, our children, the elderly, and our animals. And so to know that this man, who had been trying to get rid of the dog, and I say get rid because I think those are his words, to get rid of the dog for several months before this, and this was the way he chose to do it. I'm glad that he was caught when he tried to go and reclaim the dog.
Yeah, so this Garcia, this Giovanni Aldama Garcia, 23-year-old idiot, again, third-degree felony, punishable by up to 5 years in prison. According to your office, Garcia told police that he abandoned his dog Jumbo while on his way to Georgia because he couldn't find anyone to pick the dog up. So he ties the dog to a fence in rising waters on the side of a highway. This was
as we have a Category 5 hurricane getting ready to bear down on us. Yes.
On Wednesday, October 9th, a dog now known as Trooper was found abandoned in floodwaters up to his chest on I-75 in Tampa. During the evacuation, according to Dave Kerner, Executive Director of the Florida Department of Highway Safety and Motor Vehicles, based upon subsequent criminal investigation, state troopers secured and executed a felony arrest warrant yesterday on Giovanni Aldama Garcia, 23 of Ruskin, for aggravated animal cruelty. Our agency is grateful for the unprecedented support of State Attorney Suzy Lopez and her prosecutors, particularly during a state of emergency. The criminal investigation is active and ongoing, and additional information unavailable at this time. Suzy, you're calling on state lawmakers to change the law.
I am, because during a state of emergency, and we are actually still in one, during a state of emergency, certain crimes can be enhanced. A burglary of a home, for example, is normally a second-degree felony. It becomes a first during a state of emergency. I urge our lawmakers to look at this case, look at our charge that we have. This was done during a state of emergency because the reason he tied him up is that he was trying to get himself to Georgia. This could be enhanced, and if it were enhanced, would be a second-degree felony punishable by up to 15 years in the Florida State Prison. This man's going to be held accountable to the fullest extent that we can, and that's exactly what we plan on doing.
I saw your statement yesterday that you take animal cruelty and abuse very seriously in Hillsborough County, like you should, in normal times, but then in a state of emergency. And then this guy, then he shows up to try to reclaim the dog. Apparently, he showed up at the Hillsborough County Animal Shelter and showed pictures of the dog to try to say, hey, that's my dog?
Yes, he showed up. He showed up there because he said, I've seen my dog on TV. I've seen him on the news. I want my dog back.
And by the way, the dog was taken because of the events going on. The dog was actually taken to the Leon County Sheriff's Office.
Yeah.
So the dog traveled
to Tallahassee now, from what I understand.
Yeah, the dog traveled to Tallahassee?
Up in the Panhandle, absolutely.
Yeah. And if the dog is not adopted in Tallahassee, I can tell y'all, I've had so many people say, I want him, I want him, I want him. So Trooper is very, very loved and is going to have a great life from here on out once he's away from Mr. Garcia.
Yeah, this Giovanni Aldama Garcia, 23 years old of Ruskin, should never be allowed to touch a pet, a dog, an animal ever again.
No. Why would they take the dog 15 counties away?
I would put his pictures up at petting zoos.
Yes.
Yeah. And, they have like pictures of child molesters or
not at petting zoos.
Yeah.
Not at
They have pictures up of be on the lookout for this. Yeah. Don't let this guy touch any animal anywhere.
Right. No, and we're fully in favor of that. I can definitely assure you.
After he's charged and prosecuted, Suzy, can he maybe not live within like 500 feet of a Petco?
There you go.
I mean, I got to tell you, I think that would be a fantastic idea.
Tell you what, on national,
I just walked outside of my yard. I got parking everywhere because we love our animals.
Yeah, on National Dog Day, he should not be able to turn his porch light on. Turn his porch light on.
During police interrogations, can we just repeatedly play "Who Let the Dogs Out"?
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Until he goes crazy.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah.
Oh, good Lord.
Unbelievable.
All right.
Suzy,
it was raining cats and dogs that day. So
it
you know.
was.
Oh,
I mean, what a sicko. Suzy Lopez, thank you for coming on the MJ Morning Show. Hillsborough County State Attorney Suzy Lopez. And, yes, I agree, safer with Suzy. Thank you, Suzy.
Thanks, y'all. Have a great day.
You
too. All right.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Okay. I don't think.
Can you believe the gall of that guy to then try to show up and say, "Oh, that's my dog I tied to a." Obviously, this guy's not a brain surgeon.
I mean, if you do that to a dog, you're not coming back for it, right? I mean, leave it on the side of the interstate. What a terrible guy.
Oh man.
And I guess so. Drivers called, pound FHP, right? Is that the
Star FHP?
Star FHP. So they called Highway Patrol and said, "Hey, there's an animal on the side of the road." And of course, they're driving by at 80 miles an hour. They didn't know the exact location. So as the storm is about to bear down, troopers were traveling the stretch of road looking for the animal. He was already almost submerged up to his neck in water.
Yeah. I mean, the dog
and the troopers did a fantastic job finding him.
Yeah. The dog could have drowned.
Absolutely.
So luckily, the dog is okay, and what they said, the dog's original name is Jumbo.
Garcia named him Jumbo, and the officer's like, "All right, Jumbo's out. We're going to call you Trooper in honor of the."
But the dog probably knows its name is Jumbo, so you might want to maybe Jumbo Trooper.
You know what?
Yeah.
Well, the dog doesn't speak English. You give the dog a treat, he'll answer to Trooper.
Okay.
Or he'll start his new life with his nice people as
Listen,
Trooper.
if you have a treat in your hand, you can call your dog anything, and he'll come.
And tons of people want to.
Oh, he's going to have a great home.
Thanks for watching the video. Hope you liked it. Go ahead and click, share, subscribe, all this stuff.